Hello everyone, this is Alchemical Transmissions. My name's Nicholas, and today I wanted to talk about the December energy update. So I bring these messages through from my higher self and my guides. So the first message that came through, and probably the biggest one, was that there's going to be an activation in the heart space, and there's going to be a big opening and strengthening of the heart space. Now, I saw this coming through at around 12/12, around kind of early-ish mid-month, and that it's going to be carrying on through the rest of the month. So there was a lot of different things linked to this message, but all of it really revolved around growing ourselves. So firstly, there's going to be a lot of past emotional trauma in the heart space that's going to be coming up. I was getting that this could be a wide variety of different things, but some core themes will probably be feeling like you were unloved, feeling like you weren't good enough, and not feeling a strong sense of self-worth. And what this translates to is wherever your source connection has been siphoned. Because this type of trauma creates belief systems that block your connection to God and to source. You can kind of imagine the connection as a sort of valve connected from your heart space to God. And these types of traumas don't damage that, but they do add a lot of junk in there that messes with the ease of flow. And our heart connection is actually our main connection to source. So when we have these really heavy traumatic experiences blocking up that connection, it can lead us to experience things like depression or anxiety and even a fear of intimacy. And if we don't deal with these things and they're allowed to remain in our energetic space for long enough, it can really lead to some chronic health issues, along with the depression and anxiety and negative belief systems. They all sort of compound on each other. So that theme of really clearing out the heart space is in turn going to strengthen your heart space and strengthen that connection with source. Now, how I see this is that there's going to be kind of a letting go of these denser energies, because a lot of what I just described can feel very heavy on us energetically, very dense, lower frequency energies. And what I'm getting is that these things that have kept you rooted in these deeper energies, all the belief systems from the trauma that you've accumulated over the years that have been weighing down your heart are now being shedded. And I was seeing kind of the analogy of wearing like a really heavy coat or something like that, and then just kind of taking it off and feeling that difference in weight and feeling that lightness. That's what we're going to be experiencing this month energetically. And you may notice that this could lead to a lighter, happier version of yourself and how you express yourself. And the next message that I was getting is that it's going to be very important to spend time with this energy and embrace it and recognize it as the truth of who you are. And in turn, it's also going to be important to guard this energy, as it might raise questions and it might even cause other people or energies to try to drain it. So for instance, if maybe because you've been being weighed down from those other energies in your heart space for so long, you might have surrounded yourself with activities or people that resonate on that same level. So as you transition to this lighter frequency, if you return to those spaces, a lot of times those other energies or people are going to want to feed off of that positivity, feed off of that new energy, or even worse, they might try to drag it down because they don't like that you might seem in a better place or happier place or in a better version of yourself, because that they could see that as a threat, disrupting the flow of what was. A lot of times people struggle with change in that way, and introducing that change to something that has been in a set frequency for a long time can cause ruptures and discordance. So it's important to keep that in mind. And the next message kind of ties into that with, it's going to be important to stand in your authenticity while also retaining your integrity in this transformation, because it could be tested by people close to you or by things that matter to you still. Like I said before, when people have big shifts in their personality, sometimes that can become threatening to some others because those people have grown accustomed to that person being a certain way. So a lot of times, subconsciously, when people see that as a threat, they might try to kind of poke holes in that new version of yourself. And this is where I'm getting that it's very important to have a strong respect for this new version of yourself, to act in authenticity and to hold yourself in a state of integrity so that when you are tried, you'll feel strength and you won't waver. This brings me to my next message, which is never share more than feels safe. And that's going to be individual to each and every one of you, but a way that I kind of was seeing this is you're going through a very important transformation at this time, and you could liken it to someone painting something, and they wouldn't want to show, half-finished painting to everyone because people wouldn't understand it, and they might take it the wrong way, or they might judge it in a way that makes you not want to finish it. And that's kind of the message behind what I was getting when I was hearing never share more than what feels safe. Because a lot of times when we have these types of transformations, people are curious. They want to know why things are different. They want to understand. And a lot of times that can lead to a lot of questions that really can put you in a sort of vulnerable state if you let it. So it's going to be important that you figure out where that line is for you, to where you can share parts of yourself without feeling like you're giving your power away, while you can still kind of grow that heart space without jeopardizing it. Now, another message, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, is that these new energies that are coming through are really your higher self. You're anchoring in new energies from your higher self, and that's what's really causing a lot of these lower frequency energies to fall away. And it's creating a stronger relationship with yourself and God. And this process is all a very sensitive, emotional, and vulnerable process. And it's going to be important to hold space for your spirit to integrate properly with love and respect. And as I said before, this can mean not engaging with others in a way that gives your power away. This month really is going to be a time of transformation and healing. And as all of this happens, it's going to cause this heart integration, which is really just an integration with your higher self. Now, the next message I got was that it's going to be important for you to find avenues for the heart space to express itself. And the image I was getting is a young child and its need. The image that I was getting, and what I want you guys to imagine, is nurturing a young child and their need for creation and adventure and their curiosity about everything in life. That is kind of how you have to view what your needs are going to be like this month. Really the needs of your heart. So this could really be anything. I mean, it could be you really want to hold that kind of space for yourself this month, whether that be trying out new sports, meditating, painting, traveling to new places, anything that you feel like your heart is calling you to do that could be beneficial for your soul. It's going to be important to care for it in that way and respect it by setting time aside for yourself to participate in those types of things and to satiate that kind of curiosity and creativeness. The more you can encourage this process, the more that healing is going to occur. Now, moving on, for those of you that have felt as if you've gone the way of not upsetting others or not expressing your own voice, letting the outside world shape your opinions, or living in a state of avoidance of expressing your truth, that is all going to be shifting. There's going to be a lot of confidence being established in how you represent yourself. If you have struggled in forming your own habits or beliefs and expressing them, that is shifting. And what this really is you're developing yourself. I'm seeing it as large strides in developing yourself. And how I'm seeing this happening is a vanquishing of fears. So as these new heart space energies are being established, the fears that have been residing in the same place are being uprooted. They're being uprooted so they can be integrated. And this is an important point. Our fears aren't something to run away from. That almost always makes them worse. I think if we look at fear as a sort of pain that's been trapped, that's in need of healing, then you can kind of learn to dissolve them, because the more you can lean into your pain and your fear, ironically, the more it starts to dissipate. And what I'm seeing is that there's been a lot of fear around the collective that's been keeping their expression in a sort of prison. I was seeing it kind of as like a cage around their energetic space, and a lot of those big ones are coming directly from the heart space. And I was getting the message that your light has been locked up. So the more we integrate our fears into love, the more these walls and subconscious suppression of our connection to God is removed. Now, as we kind of lean into these fears so that they can be cleared, a lot of time this can leave us feeling quite vulnerable, and it can leave us feeling in almost like an infantile state, because many times we've used our fears as a form of protection, especially if they stem from past traumatic experiences. In many cases, our fear is the result of this trauma, and as our trauma is healed, we have to confront our fears. What I was hearing is that the fear we have harbored in our hearts needs love as well, because it really is just trapped pain and trapped emotions, and the more that we can open ourselves to it, the quicker it can be released. And the last thing that came up was kind of a brief message, but it had to do with the 1212 portal. Now, what I was seeing is that with this heart activation, there's going to be an upgrade to our physiology as well. So as this activation happens, we're going to be allowing in higher frequencies, higher levels of light, larger portions of our higher self, and in turn, that light is entering our physical vessel. What this means is our bodies are going to be operating kind of as a more high-tuned machine, right? This means that they're going to be pickier about the way that we treat them. So as they're operating at a higher frequency, it's going to be important to introduce healthier options if you haven't been already. Many times light workers have sensitive systems already when they incarnate, and it's difficult for them to sustain unhealthy habits, but it's going to be even more so now. So this includes things like fast foods, lots of alcohol or drugs, anything that is unhealthy and damaging to the body. It's going to feel even worse now. So eating more fruits and vegetables, organic if possible, less or no alcohol or caffeine, more meditation or even yoga could be more beneficial. And this isn't to say that you can't indulge in these things. All I'm getting is that it's going to give you a harder time than it would have before. So just keep that in mind. So you guys can check out a monthly energy healing meditation to assist in these energies below. There's a free 3-day option to see if the membership is a good fit for you. Thank you guys for tuning in. I always enjoy you being here, and have a wonderful December.